So what does it mean if your gun is off just 1/1000th of an inch from your intended target when the bullet leaves the muzzle? Let's first discuss just how much 1/1000th of an inch is. This is a regular sheet of printer paper, and it is 4/1000ths of an inch, 4 times the thickness that we're talking about here. Normally when we're talking about distance to the target, we're not talking about inches, so let's convert that to something we can understand. So for every inch that bullet is traveling, it's going to be off another 1/1000th of an inch. So 1/1000th of an inch at 1 inch, 2/1000ths of an inch at 2 inches, 3 inches, and so on and so forth. You get the idea, until eventually we reach 1,000 inches. 1,000 inches is where that bullet is going to be off an entire inch. So what is that in yards? That's 28 yards, or 27.78 if you were a real geek. Let's work with 28 yards. That is the distance to the target over my left shoulder. That's 1 inch off at 28 yards, but if we go out to 112 yards, that's 4 inches. That starts to be a real concern. None of this so far is taken into account how good our gun is or how well the ammo is matched to it. It has nothing to do with exterior ballistics, wind, temperature, anything to do with the bullet after it leaves the muzzle. So you guys may remember back in grade school or high school, a guy named Sir Isaac Newton. Do you remember what his first law was? Well, part of it is an object at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by an unbalanced force or motion. And I think as handgunners, that's what we have going for us, is when the gun is at rest, everything is going to be perfect, and the only thing that can screw it up is us. As a handgun rest designer, I always keep this in mind, that we want to build forgiveness into our hunting rest and help you guys, and of course ourselves also, be more precise and be able to keep that gun at rest even when we're going through our motion to fire the gun. There are other forces that are going to act on your firearm because we're human beings, we're not machines. So everything from your trigger press to your grip position, to your grip pressure, to your body position, your arm position, all those can create some sort of torque or motion that's going to act on that gun when that trigger is first fired. So I have an exercise I want you guys to go through this week, and it may seem a little silly to you, but I think you'll kind of get the idea. I want you to be precise in some things that you do, and you can pick whatever that is. I'm going to give you some examples so you know what I'm talking about. So when you put your shoes on in the morning, I want you to pull those strings up just as precise as you possibly can. Get perfect snugness in all those laces and tie a perfect knot. So a very equal knot. So those bows lay in there really nice and even on both sides. Try to be as precise in that as you can. If you write a note to somebody at work, make sure your penmanship is just perfect. Now don't keep them there forever or they're going to get angry at you, but try to write that note out with every letter being just perfect, like you would see it in some sort of machine-made example of how letters are supposed to be. Every H, every N, make sure you get that little stick on there. Everything has to be perfect, and try to be as precise as you can be, and then maybe do that for 2 or 3 days. Pick 4 or 5 things that you're going to do that with. Maybe you put the milk back and you put the label back just so, or you lay the remote down. Don't just throw it down, but lay it down just so. And then pick those things that you can speed up at the end of the week. So we're not doing anything with handguns or handgun rest or any of that stuff right now. Just things outside of that you can be as precise as possible. Day 3 into it, try to speed those things up. And the reason for that is handgun hunting is a combination of speed and accuracy. Speed and accuracy. being as precise as you can be, as fast as you can be, because when an animal shows up, you may only have a few seconds to get that shot off. So that's the reason for the exercise. There's going to be a part 2 to this, and we're going to take what we learned over here with precision and try to move that into our handgun hunting. So do that for me. No matter when you see this video, just know there's going to be a part 2, and then we're going to move into the handgun portion of it next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.